Critical to school efficacy is fostering an environment that enables strong relationships, especially between students and teachers. Block schedules would allow students to get to know their peers and instructors better and would allow teachers to focus on less students per day and do their job more effectively. Many of you have probably heard of or experienced block schedules before. A quick summary of a block schedule is rather than a typical class period which lasts around 50 minutes of 6 to 7 periods per day, you have 3 to 4 blocks per day that last around 2 hours. Usually blocks will alternate depending on the day of the week, and this allows students to spend more time with their instructors without the rush of going from one class to the next. This policy aligns with many of the adolescent development needs. One development need of adolescents is social-emotional support. This would help students gain more self-awareness or the ability to recognize one's emotions, strengths, and challenges. It would also help improve students' ability at self-management and regulating their emotions. We could help them become better at responsible decision-making as well as develop better relationship skills. Additionally, it would help adolescents gain social awareness, allowing them to empathize with others, work in teams, and effectively navigate conflict. Adolescents also seek forming personal relationships. Both school structures and peer culture impact academic outcomes for teens, and block schedules can help foster a safe environment where relationships can strengthen. Another developmental need is community, and block schedules allow for students to feel a sense of continuity and familiarity in their routine. In our research, we found that many students felt a sense of isolation when they entered traditional high schools because it can be overwhelming to meet so many new people at once. According to the Life Course Theory graph, the transition to high school can either result in an increase in school engagement or a decline. In block classrooms, there are more opportunities to know your classmates on a deeper level because there is time for lecture material, but also time to collaborate. Connected to this is the developmental need of relatedness, which is the need to feel connected to others and to have a sense of belonging. One other developmental need is autonomy. Longer class periods can create opportunities for self-directed learning or even co-teaching and co-gens, where students can take charge of the classroom. Students can explore topics in more depth and have time to ask their instructors more questions about course materials. Additionally, we believe this policy would be to the benefit of all students and may actually work to aid historically marginalized students. A block environment may provide more structure and less fragmented learning for students. In our research, teachers reported that they could not aid students that were falling behind in courses because they had to focus on so many students in just one day. But with block schedules, teacher efficacy would improve, and this may allow for more student-centered learning.
Now, I will discuss how block schedules lead to positive outcomes that improve student-teacher relationships. As you can see here, I have listed 3 benefits of block scheduling: increased job efficacy, deeper engagement, and personalized and responsive teaching strategies. When teachers have more time with their classes, they are able to cover more material and go into greater depth. They also have more time to get to know their students better, which makes them appear more friendly and approachable to students in the long run. Each of these benefits from block scheduling leads to an improved relationship between teachers and students. These relationships are important because they can impact a student's learning and academic trajectory. As previously mentioned, the aspects of block schedules include longer periods, fewer classes a day, and smoother transitions. These aspects help the developmental needs of adolescents. However, there are cons, such as because it is non-traditional, it will receive skepticism and concerns as to how students will respond to such a big change, which will require enormous effort to implement. Even with these cons, if implemented correctly, block scheduling can be very effective. To combat these concerns, we created an action plan that will address them.
Thank you, team. So now let's imagine a school day where a student can dive deep into their learning, engaging meaningful discussion, and collaborate without feeling rushed. However, we need a structured transition plan to make the shift from traditional to block scheduling effective. Today, we'll walk you through how we can implement this model successfully. So the first step is establishing a strong foundation. We start by forming a task force that includes administrators, teachers, students, representatives, and parents to guide their transition. Then we should conduct a need assessment, analyzing student engagement, truancy rate, and overall academic performance under the current schedule. To ensure that every stakeholder is considered, we also need to run surveys for the teachers, students, and families, identifying their concern and expectations. With this information, we could draft a policy frame that outlines instructional strategies, professional development plans, and necessary funding. Finally, this proposal will be submitted for district approval and budget allocation, securing the resources needed for the transition. Once the plan is approved, we can move into preparation phase. One of the biggest challenges in transitioning is making sure that teachers are equipped to handle longer class period effectively. We need to provide professional development that trains them in active learning strategies, differentiate instruction, and student engagement techniques. We will also need to address students' absences, a major concern in block scheduling. Consider solutions that include recorded lessons, peer mentoring, and teacher office hours to support struggling learners. Meanwhile, parents and students attend orientation sessions to familiarize themselves with it, ensuring they understand how to maximize the benefits of extended learning blocks. By the end of this phase, teachers are prepared, students are informed, and supportive systems are in place. So now let's look at how a middle school day would actually function under a 2 hours ABC block model. Students have 3 extended learning sessions each day, rotating throughout the weeks. For 8 days, on Monday and Wednesday, for example, we could have science between 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. and a 15-minute short breaks after that. And we're gonna have social studies as the second block between 10:15 a.m. to 12:15 p.m. And after that, we're gonna have lunch till 1 p.m. Between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. so we are going to have English. And the same equation can be applied to B days and C days, just with different subject. Moving on to phase 3, before making a full shift, considering launching a pilot programs in selected schools. This allows us to test the block schedule in real time, gathering data on student engagement, teacher effectiveness, and overall performance. Throughout this phase, we have to maintain regular feedback loops with teachers and students, adjusting where necessary. If instructional pacing needs fine-tuning, we modify it. If students struggle with longer class times, we introduce additional support structures. By the end of the pilot, a detailed report should be compiled assessing the effectiveness of the schedule, making final refinements before a district-wide rollout. With a successful pilot phase, we should expand the block scheduling across all schools. However, transitioning doesn't stop at implementation, it requires continuous improvement. To ensure long-term success, we need to conduct quarterly evaluations tracking attendance rates, academic performance, and teacher feedback. This data allows us to make evidence-based adjustments in real time, ensuring that block scheduling remains effective for all students. By the end of the second year, a formal review will determine the long-term impact, guiding future refinements and solidifying block scheduling as a permanent research-backed policy shift.
To successfully implement block scheduling, we need to address key challenges with effective solutions. Here are 3 key recommendations. Many teachers, parents, and administrators may be unsure about block scheduling's effectiveness. So we recommend that to provide proven research and data to highlight its benefits, share success stories from schools that have implemented it successfully. The second recommendation for students who are absent for the classes, the teacher offering only twice requested recorded lessons per semester for each student, provide online assignments and tutoring sessions. This ensures students can catch up efficiently and stay on track while also not only rely on the recording. Lastly, implementing a block schedule requires a high level of effort, planning, and adaptation. The third recommendation is to provide structured teacher training workshops, such as how to adjust the lesson plan, and informational sessions for parents, such as explaining how block scheduling works and provide tips on how parents can help their children adjust to the new schedule. By addressing skepticism, supporting students academically, and facilitating a smooth transition, we can successfully implement block scheduling.